Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be watching a video conversation from the podcast. I think the podcast of the Lotus Eater. Okay, and they are talking about old media, legacy media, and how it is being eradicated. How people are not really watching legacy shows anymore, legacy media, and consuming media in a new and different way. We are living in different times. We're living in ever-changing times. We are living in times of social media, and people used to consume media via the television, via newspapers and magazines, the radio, and since the internet, people have then moved on to getting their news stories from websites. But now people get their information from Twitter mainly. People get their news from YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, and it is changing the landscape of media. Is changing the way we consume media, the way we interact with media. And this podcast, I believe, explores what this means for the future of society.
So the old media is signing off.
Yay.
Literally. The entire edifice that is what we consider to be the old paradigm, the legacy paradigm of media, for example.
And why is it? Why are we moving away from the old media? It is because there's a lack of trust and transparency. A lot of people, I think, would still consume old legacy media outlets if they were more credible, but they seem to have been indoctrinated via political agendas, via political ideologies. They seem to be, um, you know, being affected by, in essence, the woke culture. Or you get the other end of far right extreme outlets who just use clickbait and outrage articles and outrage journalism to attract eyeballs. And the thing is, we stay away from truth, and we are more geared towards either appeasing the woke agenda, or just using clickbait to further fuel rage and to fuel hate amongst the world.
Journalism, television, radio. I mean, you saw they'd lost 1.2 million viewers. Well, everyone's losing listeners, sorry, on the radio. Radio stations are going down the tube, as are television stations, as is print journalism. This is just one example here. News media jobs in 2023, they lost 8,000 journalists across just the Anglosphere media. There's been another 1,000 in 2024 so far.
So this was LA Times, this was Vice, this was Jezebel, this was all of the progressive outlets just being shut down because no one's actually reading them.
Not even just
Yeah, and it is because there's a lack of trust, and it's easier to consume your news if it's just given to you in a feed on TikTok, if it's just given to you on Twitter. You just see what's trending, what's popular, and then you jump on it. You see the rage bait, and you kind of just read up and get a little bit angry, and then just move on with your fucking day, and then you wonder why your blood pressure's fucking high. Okay. Like I said earlier, we live in difficult times. We live in strange times. We live in the time of where AI is upon us. We are about to embark in a world which we have never thought before, where we have a potential computer programs taking over human jobs, human roles, and then what effect will this have? Most people will not be able to retrain. Most people will not be able to find work, and they will be displaced and made redundant. The government solutions for this will be universal basic income, where they'll say, look, I know you can't afford to work, you can't find a job, you can't afford to live here. We'll give you some universal basic income, we'll give you some money, but in return, you can't ever leave your house, you can't ever go anywhere. You're going to have to reduce your carbon footprint. You're going to have to in essence, stay in your room, but we also give you the metaverse, so you can run around in the metaverse and socialize that way. Even going down to the shopping market will be valued via the amount of carbon footprint it gives off. If you walk to the park that'll be zero carbon footprint, I guess. But if you drive anywhere, that'll be, it will feed into your universal basic income. But you might be watching, asking me like, oh, how would they know that I am, where I'm going? Well, you'll be tracked 24/7 via your phone, via the GPS that you will have on you all the time, and you'll be charged automatically because we'll have digital currencies, central bank digital currencies issued, where you have a wallet given to you by your bank or the government, and they will deduct money as and when you are using your carbon footprint allowance, and the food that you eat will be weighed in the units of carbon footprint it causes to the environment. And in essence, you won't be able to afford to go fucking anywhere. You will just have to sit in your room, socialize within your room. There'll be less human contact than ever. People will be more isolated. People will be more lonely. And I think that is the wrong way to go about it. People will date less. People will reproduce less because that is the ultimate goal that they want. In return for the privilege of having universal basic income, they will get all your future inheritance. They will get all your current resources. You will own nothing and be happy. If this is a world that scares you, if this is an image of a world that you find very dystopian, very creepy in essence, if you don't want to be part of it, you have to do something about it. And what we do here at Royal Instinct is we are building our kingdoms. We are ever expanding. We are rising to the top. And the way we are doing it is via creating content, via becoming influencers, via becoming famous, so we can garner our own audiences, have our own fans, be seen as kings, be seen as celebrities, spread our message, rise to the top. And you won't be rising to the top by yourself. You'll be part of a network of 100 kings, because I'm looking for 100 people to go on this journey with. We'll be going straight to the top and displacing the current status quo, and become the de facto controllers and leaders of the world. You cannot trust the leaders that we currently have. You have to become the leader that you always needed, that you always wished that you had. And I help my clients achieve that. I help my clients become leaders. I help my clients become more charismatic speakers, so they can produce content and become celebrities in their own right, kings in their own right. Once you have celebrity status, once you have some sort of influence and following, once you're seen as somebody who can exert authority and influence, you will have reached the status of a king. You'll be able to build a kingdom because you'll have the best financial opportunities, the best business opportunities, and you will live a life of luxury. You will live a life that is beyond imagination. You will have the easiest date in life. You have the best social opportunities, the best friends, and live life on easy mode. But to do that, you have to start making your content, and you only have a small window of opportunity to do this. You have to do this before AI takes over, before AI can be used to create content by itself without the input of humans. And then when that happens, it's game over. But before that happens, you have a small chance to make your own audience, so they will stay with you as we move into an uncertain world and future.
Aggressive. This is across the board. So I don't doubt that being unrepresentative of the general population isn't helping these people, but it's not just on one political side. Hi folks, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to let you know that we've introduced a so
Yes,
Tim Pool will probably buy it and have it redirect to Timcast or something like that, which would be nice. But anyway, so let's move to television in the UK, because there's a lot of squabbling over television news stations in the United Kingdom at the moment, and it's kind of pointless because they're all going to die. And they're all...
I mean, this guy, like, just get to the fucking point. Like, why is he waffling so long? Like, literally, we've been watching this for 1 minute and 49 seconds, and we're not really getting to the meat of the conversation here.
Losing their money. So as you can see here, the TV ad market has plunged 13% in the last year. Sorry about this.
And now he's fucking coughing.
I've had it all week.
Hurry up, mate.
The collapse is driven by a sharp slowdown in linear TV advertising. And so what that is just direct ad.
So advertisers are realizing that that eyeballs are not on TV screens anymore. Eyeballs are not on legacy media, and they are trying to infiltrate the online market. All businesses will be moved to online. That is where we are headed. We live individually in our own countries, but our life exists online. And the more and more as technology gets more and more advanced, we will permanently move online. The plans that they have with the metaverse, the plans that they have with virtual reality, will mean that we will, in essence, live in a new planet, a new Earth, which is the internet. It's a country of its own. It's the greatest. It's the biggest country because everyone's connected to it. Um, and you will have to make a name for yourself and be able to be seen in this new world, in this new on the internet. And you can see it already on Instagram and other social media platforms. The ones that make the most money, the people that make the most money, are the people who have the largest following, via brand deals, if you're a personal brand, or even companies. That they'll make the most. Even companies like Red Bull and Coca-Cola have their own YouTube pages and Instagram pages, because they realize that, if you are able to have a big audience, a big following online, you can ensure that you will make the most money, that you stay relevant. And before we all move permanently online, it is important for you to start building your own audience, to build your own fan base, and so you can ensure that you will be able to be seen, so you have access to the biggest business deals in the future. You will be seen as a celebrity, you'll be seen as a king, you will become rich and famous, and be able to build out a kingdom. And then once you have a kingdom, once you are seen as a king, you will live life in luxury, and you will become the leader that the world needs.
Adverts on TV in between the programs.
I have heard about this behind the scenes. I spoke to a producer yesterday at a network, and he said that everyone over at ITN, which have a massive budget, running around like their chickens with their heads cut off because all their advertisers are driving up. So it's not just like GB News ad boycotts; it's all of terrestrial news television.
We'll get to it. And this is not mitigated well.
I'm sorry, they're not getting to anything. He just made a point that was great. That could have been a good discussion point, but then he moves on and doesn't explain nothing. So even like you have to look at YouTube channels like this, like a podcast like this, and be like, look, I can do a fucking better job. This is your competition. Like, would you want these people to become famous? Right? You need to overthrow them. You need to provide more informative. Get to the fucking point. Like, literally, as we're watching this, we're not actually moving towards any real discussions being made. The guy, with the glasses, just made a great point, and the host is refusing to discuss it. But he's not making any discussions himself.
Enough by a 5% growth in video on demand, so streaming services. So the streaming services are not growing in line with the collapse of broadcast television, which is interesting. In fact, it's almost 3-1 difference. So that is, I think, just an interesting thing. And so we can look at just various outlets. This is from 2022. Sky's revenue was down by nearly 10%, which is a lot. I mean, they were getting 20 billion a year as a total thing. And of course, then they had to go on and cut 1,000 jobs as they tried to move.
And as we are moving more and more towards online consumption, as we're moving towards more online consumption, you have to realize that these job cuts are happening. That technology will. And why do they cut jobs? For example, they cut jobs because human labor is the most expensive cost to a company. Okay, so by cutting it, they're able to save, to be in profit, so they're not making a loss in essence. Okay, but these jobs will never be coming back because as because as AI comes in and has the ability to do a human's job, it'll be a lot more cost effective to run AI to provide those human jobs. So, for example, even the host for news will be done by AI content creators, but they might just take the likeness of the previous host, pay him some royalties for his image rights, and then forever going forward, they don't have to pay actual individuals. They'll just be able to pay the AI software makers, ChatGPT or whoever, OpenAI, and that way companies will be able to reduce costs and increase profits. Okay, so right now we are living in a time where it is a race to the top. Larger companies are swallowing up smaller companies, and people are watching larger content creators because they can be trusted more. So you have a small window of opportunity to get in on this game. You have to become a content creator yourself. You have to rise to the top. You have to be seen as somebody who is able to garner attention. Because if you don't, you'll be one of these people who loses their jobs and then never comes back, and then you'll be made redundant for the rest of your life.
From their skyboxes to the internet, just like everyone else, because technology is a changing force and there's nothing we can do about it. As you said about ITV, massive losses. Their profits fell from 501 million in 2022 to 193 million in 2023.
Down to a fifth.
Well, about a third. They've lost about half. Oh. Well, just over half. But that's massive. They reported a severe decline of 15% in linear advertising, and they are performing better in the digital market, of course. But again, it's not anything that anyone's happy with, because this is the end of an era.
I don't think the leak programming and series of scandals was presented has helped their public image either.
No, but
yeah, I mean, we are living in difficult times here, where legacy media is shutting down because they cannot afford to have all these people employed when you can have a news outlet online with minimal staff, with minimal people working behind the scenes, with minimal salaries to pay, and you have computers coming out with the scripts, computers rendering AI images to feed to you, and that's how news will be made. That's how news will be consumed going forward. And you have to think, how are you going to protect yourself? One way is for you to start becoming a indirect competition with these new media outlets, for you to become somebody who creates content, somebody who's able to make money off your opinions, of the news that you present, the information that you present. Be seen as somebody who is very competent, somebody who's seen as a industry expert, an expert in the thing that you are most passionate about. So you can start building a kingdom, start becoming famous, start being seen as somebody who is important, a VIP in essence, and so you can maximize the amount of money you make and maximize the opportunities that you can attract in the future as well. Okay, like there's only a limited amount of people at the top. I'm here to build your kingdom. I'm here to build my kingdom. I'm looking for 100 people who want to come and join us, build a royal alliance, and overthrow these current legacy media outlets, to overthrow these new false interpreters like these three guys. And it will be us at the top, producing the content, giving information to people, helping people, leading them to live better lives, so we can lead humanity to a better place. Because where we are headed right now, these companies are just going to squeeze as much profit as they can, and most of humanity will be left jobless and left to rot away.
it's not about that. It's just that advertisers are making rational calculations about the market and saying, well, people just don't watch this. We just don't get the sales because there are just not the numbers of people watching television.
Yeah, and these studios used to have big productions. They have big productions, and then equally, you can be someone in your home with a TikTok account and a smartphone, and just whip it out, say something, and get millions and millions of viewers, right? So and that costs you nothing. It costs you whatever it costs for your smartphone. and new media cannot compete with this. However, once they figure out how to best start making content, once they start figuring out how they can use AI to mass produce content, and more and more people will lose their jobs, but they will remain profitable because they will be able to reinvest. The shareholders, in essence, will be able to reinvest and carry on producing media, and they'll create barriers to entry. They'll have brand names so people will trust them, in essence. But before AI is here, before AI completely takes over, you have an opportunity to start making content, for you to build an empire, for you to build your own kingdom, for you to rise to the top and be seen as a king. If you want to live life on easy mode, you have to build a kingdom. Reach out to me, and I'll be able to help you make a plan for you to get there. For everybody else, that is it for today. Take care, and see you later.